Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden and welcome to May 1st. You guys will be seeing this video on May 1st. May 1st has kind of been on my radar for a couple months now because May 1st is the day that Proven Winners gave me clearance to talk about their 2024 annual introductions. I am so excited to share all these plants with you guys. I want to preface this video though by reminding all of you that you cannot get your hands on these plants until next season. So keep your eye out next season. This is just an introduction. I am so spoiled and so lucky that Proven Winners gives me a bunch of these plants to try out a year in advance so that I can feel comfortable talking to you about them next year. So I want to go through, first I'm going to show you guys what 2024 annuals I have planted in my garden, and then I'll take you back to my greenhouse and show you a couple more samples that I am planning to plant out over the next couple weeks. All right, so let's get started with my front annual swoop over here. All right, everyone, here is my front annual swoop. I did do a video on planting this up. I will link it in the description down below. If you did see that video, you would have seen that I could not talk about one of the plants that I planted up, and that is because it's one of the new 2024s, and probably the one that I am most excited about because it is a yellow Supertunia. So this is called Supertunia Saffron Finch. I am so very excited about this one. Proven Winners does have Supertunia limoncello, which I find very, very beautiful, but I just think that they needed another one that was kind of a little bit more, I don't know, robust, I guess is how I would say it. And I really think that Supertunia Saffron Finch is going to do that. So it's still just a Supertunia. It's not a Supertunia Vista. If you remember, I was talking about the vigors that Proven Winners has. Proven Winners has vigors usually 1 through 4. 4 is the most vigorous. So like Supertunia Vista Bubblegum would be a 4. Really, it would be off the charts 4. But Supertunia Saffron Finch is a vigor of 3. So not the maximum vigorous, but still pretty darn vigorous, and I'm excited about that. It is bright yellow flowers, and they say it might transition to a creamy yellow in southern climates. I have a feeling they might transition because you can see the edges are already kind of a creamy yellow, which I find so beautiful. Part sun to full sun, they will get about 12 inches tall and 2 feet wide, which I'm really, really excited about. I think that this front swoop, I think that the Supertunia Saffron Finch is going to make my front swoop this year. So I'm really excited for it to grow in. It's obviously not totally full yet, but it's going to get there. And I will definitely keep you guys updated on this beautiful new annual. All right, it's bright out this morning. Next one I want to show you all is in my gated garden bed. So in my gated garden bed along the pathway, I planted up Supertunia Mini Vista Scarlet, which is new for 2023. You guys can get your hands on this one. The one you cannot get your hands on until next year is Supertunia Mini Vista Ultramarine. All along my pathway here, I alternated Supertunia Mini Vista Scarlet and Supertunia Mini Vista Ultramarine. So I love it when people combine purple with pinky red, really just red. I just find it so incredibly beautiful. Here is the Ultramarine. Look at how beautiful this guy is growing already. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about it. So what they say is this is very similar to Supertunia Royal Velvet, the one we all know and we all love, and it's such a staple in the Supertunia series, but this one is a mini Vista, which means that it's going to have more of a compact habit and the flowers are going to be a little bit smaller. I hope you guys can see. It has that shimmer just like Royal Velvet has. It is so beautiful. When I was planting this up, I was so excited about it because just the combination of the two are absolutely gorgeous. So it's going to get up to 12 inches tall and up to 2 feet wide, part sun to sun, and it's a vigor of 3, just like Supertunia Saffron Finch. So I'm excited to see how that one does. Already it's doing really, really well, just like the Supertunia Mini Vista Scarlet. Look at how beautiful this color is. I don't know how to explain this color very well. I mean, it's definitely not red and it's definitely not pink. It's hard to explain. You kind of just have to see it in person. So my goal is to have them all grow in together and just be alternating, and I think it will be absolutely gorgeous. All right, the next one I want to show you guys is planted up in my 3 white pots over here. I did film this video. It is coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that, the video that I have about planting these 3 pots up. I just couldn't show it to you because I talked way too much about the Superbea pink cashmere. Let me find a good bloom head to show you guys. Look at that. So the Superbea series, if you guys aren't familiar with the Superbea series, it's my favorite right next to Supertunias. They are so fantastic. They act like perennials in my garden, so that's a bonus for me. My favorite one thus far has been Superbea Whiteout, just because the whole thing gets covered with blooms. They have these really big bloom heads, and it's just gorgeous. So what Proven Winners has been saying is that this new one for 2024, Superbea Pink Cashmere, has the same size bloom heads as Superbea Whiteout, and they're calling it the new star of the series, which is, I'm just so excited to see how this one does. Look at that. Look at that. So it's this delicate pink color, a little bit of creamy white, kind of like the Supertunia Saffron Finch. It does say that it has really good resistance to powdery mildew. I've never actually had any of my Superbeas get powdery mildew, but I also live in a really dry environment, so that might be good for you guys that live in more humidity. They say it's good for landscapes, window boxes, containers, baskets, pretty much anything, up to a foot tall and up to 30 inches wide. So it's going to be fantastic. Part sun to full sun and a vigor of 3. And remember, the vigors are per each series. So this is a vigor of 3 for the Superbea series. So really excited about Superbea Pink Cashmere. This is one of Proven Winners' top picks for 2024. So next year, keep your eye out for the pink cashmere. So the last 2024 that I have actually in the ground thus far is this one right here. And this is called Double Delight Apple Blossom Begonia. Let me see if I can show you guys. Oh, the color of this is just insane. So it's part of the Double Delight series, which is a double begonia. They say this one is 20 to 30% larger than the other Double Delight begonias they have. I actually don't have any experience with the Double Delight begonias, so I'll have to wait and see. But this one, they say, has a white and soft pink flower, which I think describes it absolutely perfectly. It's so beautiful. It gets about 14 inches tall, up to 2 feet wide, part sun to full sun, and a vigor of 2. Now, you see, I planted this in the ground, and then I planted Supertunia Priscilla in front. I did not see before I planted this in the ground that they recommend planting this in containers, hanging baskets, window boxes. And that is because I think the flowers kind of go this way. I'm just going to leave it here because I want to see how it does in the ground for me. I think it would be really, really cool. Surefire Rose Begonia, which is a wax begonia, does really well in the ground. For me, I just kind of want to play with it. But yeah, let me show you the picture of it right here in the booklet. Look at how pretty that is. So excited about this one. So begonias are fast becoming one of my favorite more shade plants, like, maybe not full shade for all of them, but this is the side of my house. Basically, it does get some really, really good hot sun, and begonias are just shining for me these days. So I will keep you guys updated on how the Double Delight Apple Blossom does. There are a couple more begonia introductions I will show you. They are in my greenhouse right now. All right, so the rest of the 2024s I have are in my greenhouse. I've been kind of keeping them separate so I don't accidentally talk about them or show you guys them too much. But oh my goodness, they are so exciting. Look at this one. Okay, I will get to these. I want to show you guys the begonias first that I was talking about. So Solenia is a begonia, and it has just been elevated to a Proven Winners brand. And what that means is that Proven Winners they've tested them out, they've trialed them, the growers, the testers, the people who work for Proven Winners have decided that this begonia deserves to have the Proven Winners name, which is kind of a big deal, right? So they do have, other plants like proven selection plants of Proven Winners that are not across the board approved yet to be a Proven Winners brand, but this Solenia series has officially been approved. So there's 4 colors. There's Scarlet, which I don't have a bloom on this one yet. Scarlet, there is yellow. Look at this one, so pretty. There is apricot, and then my favorite, chocolate orange. Look at that. What a great name for this, because look, it has chocolate leaves and then these beautiful bright orange blooms. So absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so the Solenia series, they are well documented as being like a fantastic begonia. They have double flowers with ruffling on them, making them really, really pretty. Deadheading is not required, about a foot tall and a foot wide, part sun to full sun with a vigor of 2. They also say this series is day length neutral, so they will be blooming all season long. And like I said, begonias are they're really impressing me these days. So I'm excited to see how these guys do. All right, then right next to the Solenia begonias, I have Catalina Pink Terenia or wishbone flower, and this is an improved variety. So Proven Winners does improve their varieties as the years go on. They basically take a plant that they have, they find like a better version of it, maybe one that's more heat tolerant or more blooms, or it can handle the cold a little bit better, and then they replace their old ones. So they're just constantly making their plants better and better. So this one says that they've amped up its vigor and flower production and improved the early season performance, making it easier to use in spring recipes, which is really exciting. Self-cleans, tolerates both sun and shade. So you guys, this is one of those plants, I'm going to try it out in my front garden bed that sometimes gets sun and sometimes gets shade, and I always have a hard time with it. Those plants, I think, are gold. They're so important for those of us that have hard garden beds like that. So I'm going to try this one out there. It gets about a foot tall and a foot wide, sun or shade, vigor of 2. Then we have another improved variety. This one is Sunsatia Coconut Nemesia. You guys, look at this plant. Like, are you kidding? This plant is fantastic. It's been sitting in my hot greenhouse and it is happy as a clam. So fantastic about that. So basically they said this improved version amps up its flower power, improved heat tolerance, yes, and more persistent color throughout the season, is what they say this one has. It has a denser habit, cold tolerant, so it's going to be really, really good as like a plant to go with pansies or something like that. And then it gets 10 inches tall and 16 inches wide, part sun to full sun. I think this plant is just speaking for itself. It is gorgeous. This is going in my cottage garden next to the A Romance Pink Nemesia, just so that I can see how it does. All right, and then right here, I have a coleus to show you guys. This is part of the Color Blaze series coleus. This is called Cherry Drop, another sun to shade. The cool thing about this one is it is a trailing coleus. So Chocolate Drop is another version of this. I mean, how much do we all love Chocolate Drop coleus? So this is just called Cherry Drop, obviously, because it has this beautiful tricolor. This is my favorite color of coleus, when it has the tricolor and the green edges just like that. It's absolutely my favorite. Okay, so Color Blaze Cherry Drop coleus, very late to never flowering, grows in sun or shade, gets about 18 inches tall, 24 inches wide, with mainly a trailing habit. So it will be perfect for a spiller, and a vigor of 4, you guys. So this one is going to be like Chocolate Drop coleus. It's going to be super vigorous, and I'm excited to see how it does. Then right next to that, I have a new Ipomoea. This is Proven Accents Sweet Caroline Sweetheart Mahogany. Look at how beautiful that one is. So the Sweetheart Mahogany can get about 3 feet wide by the end of summer, so it's definitely going to be a big one. The beautiful thing about this one is this mahogany red heart-shaped leaves. They say retain their color well in full sun, which is perfect, right? So an Ipomoea, a sweet potato vine, you can obviously use it shade to sun, or this one says full to part sun, but in my zone, I will definitely put these in the shade. And the color is always usually a little bit better in the shade. Sometimes these dark ones will bleach out a little bit, and they say this one does not bleach out. It keeps this beautiful color. All right, so let me bring you guys around to the other side of the greenhouse. First, I'll show you one. I already showed you guys this in the front yard. This is the Supertunia Mini Vista Ultramarine. It is just so beautiful. The purple color it's like it's electric. It's absolutely gorgeous. Right in front of there, I have my Superbeas that I'm trying out this year. There are, I think, 5 new colors of Superbeas, and the great thing about Superbeas is that it's much easier for them to find new colors and like doubles. I think everyone I have is a double. Yeah, everyone I have is a double. So it's just, if you guys want a specific color, Superbeas are the way to go. Now, they definitely recommend putting Superbeas in containers because you have to make sure that you don't overwater these, because Superbeas are just in general susceptible to, gosh, I'm not going to say this right. Theleviopsis. Basically, it's a root rot fungus disease. And so you want to make sure that you don't overwater your Superbeas. Here where I live, I've actually grown Superbeas in the ground and it was totally fine, but we are so incredibly dry here. I think if you guys live anywhere else, putting these in a container is probably the way to go. Okay, so first we have Superbeas Double Smitten Pink. It is so beautiful. It's like this light pink and rose color, and it's ruffled. It's so cute. I think probably the most prolific one is this double redstone right here. They're calling it vermilion and gold double flower. Look at this. So if you guys like this color scheme, try this plant out. It is absolutely incredible. It just keeps blooming in here in the greenhouse. It's so beautiful. We have a double white back here. Look at that one. So beautiful. And then I think the one that I am most excited about is Superbea's Double Vintage Coral. Oh my goodness, the color on this one. I mean, can you guys imagine some of the container recipes you can make with this one? It is so beautiful. It has that kind of muted pink, orange, tangerine. I am just obsessed with it. I absolutely love it. I have to figure out some type of container that I'm going to do with these because they're just so beautiful. Okay, then moving on. You guys recognize this one? Supertunia Bermuda Beach. I love this Supertunia. It's definitely one of my favorite just based on the color, and Proven Winners has improved it for 2024. So keep your eye out. I think along with Saffron Finch, this is going to be one of the staples that we have as Supertunias. It is so incredibly beautiful, and it's just been sitting here and blooming like this. Now, I have been fertilizing it. I've been fertilizing it about once a week, but it is just, I mean, it's just so happy. So I did plant Bermuda Beach in actually one of these 3 white pots way over there. And it actually did last over the winter. It was so beautiful. It was like February and I had blooms off this one. Not saying that this one is going to last, but that one performed so well for me. And they improved this one for even better garden performance. So it's a vigor of 3, just like the Saffron Finch. I have high hopes for the improved Bermuda Beach. Oh, and I forgot to say, Supertunia Bermuda Beach will get about 1 foot tall and 2 feet wide, and that is the same as this one. This one is called Supertunia Hoopla Vivid Orchid. Look at this Supertunia. Is that not incredible? So my kitchen slider is right there, and when I look out and I can see inside my greenhouse, this one catches my eye all the way across the yard. It is just so bright and so beautiful, and it's got this edge of white that just makes it stand out so incredibly beautiful. So let's see, they call it Vivid Orchid Purple Flowers with bright white pickety edge, phenomenal garden performance and excellent vigor, which is really, really exciting. It's a vigor of 3, part sun to full sun, like I said, about up to a foot tall and 2 feet wide. And that is Supertunia Hoopla Vivid Orchid. Right next to that, another one that has been blooming absolutely nonstop since I got it, Supertunia Mini Vista Sweet Sangria. How beautiful is this one? So it's another Supertunia Mini Vista. I have to say, I love the Mini Vistas because I can put them more places and they're still just as vigorous as the Supertunia Vista series. So the Supertunia Mini Vista Sweet Sangria is actually replacing the Supertunia Mini Vista Sangria. They think that, Proven Winners thinks that Sweet Sangria is going to be a better version of that, and they're calling it larger and brighter fuchsia pink flowers, which is really, really, I mean, yeah, we can see that. So a foot tall, 2 feet wide, part sun to full sun, and a vigor of 3. All right, then the last 2024 introduction I'm going to show you guys is a new color for the Safari series, the James Pretenias, and this is called Safari Dusk. So it's a color expansion for the series. They just added another color. I grew these, I think I grew the Safari Suns last year in my containers, and they did so beautifully. This is just a different color. They're calling it glitzy purple blooms with a gold eye on a mounded to trailing stems. Good resistance to powdery and downy mildew, 12 foot tall, 24 inches wide, part sun to full sun, and a vigor of 2. So you guys, there are so many exciting plants for 2024. Remember, you cannot get these this year. You have to wait. I didn't show you every single one just to save time. But yeah, keep your eye out. I will be trialing all these in my Zone 9B garden and letting you guys know how they do. Oh my goodness, I was getting hot in that greenhouse. I had to get out of there. All right, you guys, so that is gonna be it for my 2024 introductions for Proven Winners annuals this year. Again, they have shrubs, they have new shrubs coming out, they have new perennials coming out, they have new caladiums coming out, and they have new houseplants coming out. So keep an eye out for all of those. These are just the annuals that I have, which you guys know I love annuals because I don't have the patience to wait for a lot of plants, and I like a lot of color in my garden, and annuals will give me that. So remember, there's a ton of fantastic 2023s that are available to you all this year. Supertunia Mini Vista Yellow, Supertunia Mini Vista Scarlet, Supertunia Persimmon, which is, I have really high hopes for that one. That one is looking really good so far, and it's only May 1st. So yeah, lots of fun stuff, but this is kind of an introduction. I know I love learning about what the new ones are for the next season. It's kind of like movie previews or something like that, just really what's coming up. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.